Are you a Millie hater? I don't feel any particular way about her. But don't you at least want to see her with a new face? Today I'm gonna be repainting this Millie Barbie Extra number 6. And I'm just removing her face with pure acetone with some Q-tips. I usually use cotton pads because it picks up more paint, but I ran out, so I don't spray the face with Mr. Super Clear when I start. I just paint with the face bare. I don't know. I'm very cheap. I don't like to waste my Mr. Super Clear, but I do the soft pastels straight to the vinyl, and then I start painting with acrylic paints. I use nail art brushes. They're called Beetles, and I got them from Amazon. I'll link them in the description. And I use the really cheap acrylic paint sometimes, at least for this part. I'm using the Cracker Barrel. I don't know what they're called. The ones with the apple on it. I don't really recommend them because you have to dilute the paint to have it not look chunky, so it can be very thin. And I will usually use the Vallejo brand or not usually, I prefer the Vallejo because when you thin it out, it doesn't really dilute the color as much as this kind of paint. I hope you guys enjoy the non-sped up footage that I use. Some of it's sped up, but I wanted to show how I actually paint in real time. So I'm showing the individual brush strokes on the eyebrow hairs and the eyelashes. And I like to add micro pigment, so the pearlescent pigments right now, because they will basically disappear when I put the sealant on, so I just gotta build it up right now. You can see that I have to go over it a few times because this paint is very thin. It's very it's just very cheap. I wouldn't recommend this paint, to be honest. Now this Millie, I seriously didn't think she was ugly. I'm not a Millie hater, and I actually found her pretty cute. I thought her face was painted pretty well, but I already had it set in my mind that I wanted to repaint her, so I decided to go through with it. And I kept messing up on the left side of the eyelashes, so I actually wiped these off and I have to start over. I don't really mess up on the other side, but I have to keep going over it because of these cheap paints. And I've never painted like a doll that doesn't have dark hair, so the bottom lashes are always black for me, but Millie's eyelashes are blonde, but she has purple hair for this release, so I thought, well, maybe her eyebrows and her lower eyelashes should also be purple, so that's why I painted them that way. Then I can go in with the actually good acrylic paint, the Vallejo acrylic paint. And even if you put like a little bit too much water in it, it'll still show off some color, much more than the cheap Walmart ones. This is the better type of acrylic paint. And then I use the long nail art brush for the eyelashes. And yes, I did mess up, but you could always take a Q-tip, not a Q-tip, what is it, a toothpick, and you can carefully scratch it off. That's kind of why I don't like to do the Mr. Super Clear underneath, because you might pick up the Mr. Super Clear if you're not careful. But it's pretty easy to scratch off the paint if you're just painting on the bare vinyl. One thing I wish I could change about this face-up is the lips. I'm not too happy with how they turned out because I didn't remove the paint underneath it, and I just painted on top of the existing lips, and I feel like it sort of restricted the shape that I envisioned for the lips, so I wanted her to have more of the, you know, like the way lips were painted on the Mackie sculpts. But I think I redeemed myself on another Millie that'll most likely be posted next week or soon after this one. Now, when it comes to Barbie extras, they're probably my favorite thing that Barbie has out right now. And it's a real shame that there's rumors that they'll be discontinued soon. So I just really like the extras because even though I don't like all the designs, I do have to admire how confident they look. They definitely put on some clothes and they stepped outside the house. But with this one in particular, there was nothing about her outfit that I disliked. I liked every piece that she came with. I didn't like the shoes at first, but after I got her, I understood that they're supposed to match the earrings and the necklace. So I definitely admire her now, and I can't wait to get more and maybe repaint them. At least the Millies, I want to repaint the Millies because I actually like the face sculpt. After this repaint, I found that I really enjoyed the face sculpt, so I want to get the paisley one maybe, and the extra fly Millie, and I like the Ken too. Now I'm painting the catch lights, and this is always something that I either get right the first time or I have to redo. And I think I had a good day that day. And right here I'm showing that I wanted to paint the eyelid crease, but I forgot to paint it before I painted the eyelid, so I was too scared to go in and paint it in afterwards, so I just didn't paint it. Once the face up is done, I can spray it with Mr. Super Clear, and then once it's dry, I can remove the pins in the head. And I actually had the hair drenched in conditioner under this with saran wrap around it because it was feeling very, very dry. Yeah, I would say the only downside to this doll was the hair quality because the outfit was really well made, but the hair was very crispy and dry. I personally like to paint the nails on my dolls, and I just use acrylic paint, and then once I'm done I cure it with UV gel, and I'm also dry brushing some pearlescent paint onto the pearl accessories because I thought that the pearl finish could be a little stronger. To be honest, it didn't make much of a difference, but I did it anyway. Now I can go in with the UV gel. I use nail top coat for this, and it's the no wipe kind because I don't want to have to use rubbing alcohol to remove it from the doll's face and the nails. So I apply it to the lips and the eyes, and then I can cure it in the UV lamp for 60 seconds. And that's what I was listening to. I was listening to Hush by SES. And now she's completely cured and she has super glossy lips and eyes. Next up, we can finally dress her up. And you might be thinking, this isn't her original outfit. And you'd be completely right because this is something that I made and it's available on my Etsy in multiple sizes. Multiple Barbie sizes, pull-up size, Monster High sizes, Monster High G3, LOL OMG, Rainbow High, and check out my Etsy, it's in the description. Shameless plug, I don't really care. But after this, now that I've showed you what my little dress looks like, I can dress her up in her original outfit, and I didn't really change anything about it. I didn't feel like I needed to restyle her in any way. I really liked every element that this outfit had, so I just put her exactly in the exact same outfit that she had. And now that she's fully dressed, we can check out how she turned out. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys had as much fun watching this as I did. repainting this Millie. I hope to repaint some more Barbie extras in the future, and if you like this repaint, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, maybe comment, and check out my social medias at Justin Can Art with 2 T's on Instagram and Twitter. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!